Now at 6, the city of Joplin holds a news conference to discuss last night's storm damage and cleanup. Plus, residents of Duquesne describe how the storms tore through their community. And the city of Carthage has another mess to clean up just weeks after a previous storm damaged the city square.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The storm moved through quickly, but the damage is going to be around for a while. A Carterville, Missouri police officer shot this video last night. In addition to this tornado, the area was hammered by straight-line winds and intense rain. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. The storm left scattered damage in southeast Kansas before packing a harder punch in Jasper County, Missouri. We have team coverage of the aftermath tonight, starting in Joplin. Let's go first to reporter Fernandez Silva from 16th in Texas.
I guess I never completely got over the other one. But it's okay. We're here and we're alive.
Joplin resident Margaret Mosley feels the tension when severe weather hits the area.
We got nervous and everything, and then we finally decided wasn't anything we could do then because we had no electricity. I had a spell with my heart. I couldn't get 911. It rang and no one answered.
But once again, the storm's impact on them is not only emotional. Her and her husband spent the morning cleaning debris outside with their kids and in-laws. The Mosleys were also joined by their next-door neighbor in efforts for cleaning, as Evelyn Steele also had damage to her property.
I heard this loud crashing, and I noticed that we had water all over in the kitchen, and water was coming down through the ceiling, through the walls, and then I looked out and saw that we had windows broken, and we had this 2x4 that went through our kitchen.
Celie spent the day after the storm without power, but she's not alone. According to Liberty, 7,200 locations in Joplin lost power during the peak of the storm. Joplin city officials' crews were out at full force Monday night and were still assessing the damage into Tuesday. Now, they ask for caution.
I would encourage all of those citizens in Joplin, especially those in the affected area, to remain calm. Help is on the way and assistance will be provided to you.
I know you're going to want to get out and do things at your residence, but I would ask that you give way to liberty and despair so that they can get their jobs done. We can get things back up and running as quick as we can.
Official shares with residents not only the hope of having things working well soon, but also the thankfulness for having no injuries reported.
Well, nobody was injured. That's the main thing, you know. Damage is material that can all be replaced, but as long as nobody's injured, it's going to all be okay.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Now, as that storm system moved east into Duquesne, Missouri, it toppled power poles, trees, and more. KOAM's Amber Jenkins continues our team coverage now live from Duquesne.
Since daybreak, residents have been cleaning up the aftermath of last night's storm. I spoke to residents and they told me that cleanup is going to take weeks. Residents living on Walnut Ridge Drive in Duquesne, Missouri are cutting up fallen trees from last night's storm. One resident says once he saw a tree fall, he knew to take cover.
Yeah, this is the tree. I looked out my window as I saw it like lightning and stuff, and I heard the noise. I looked out real quick. I saw it and it kind of picked up and just fell down. And I saw like that, and it came down with the power line. But it's kind of scary, and that's when I ran and got my mom.
The storm damaged the front lawn and the backyard. Jones and his family grabbed cushions and headed to the hallway.
What, 20 minutes? Yeah, it was like 20 minutes long. And then, you know, it was still lightning and stuff and raining pretty hard afterwards. But in that first couple 10 minutes, you could just tell it felt like birds were just coming out your window. It was just like real loud.
Hey, Tasha, you want to go swimming?
Oh, no, I'm good.
A neighbor across the street who bought her house at the beginning of the year says it was intense watching the storm right behind her house.
Sitting on the couch last night. My husband's working in the bathroom because we're remodeling the house, and it was dead silent, like right in the middle of the storm. Then all of a sudden, I hear a loud whistling noise, and then the whole house started shaking. It was very intense. The neighbor across the street said that she looked out and just saw the twisting right behind our house, saw it come up between these two houses and then loop and go right there.
Another resident, Victoria Sparkles, drove home after work right into a blocked off street.
I usually use this way, but when I came in this morning, there were several trees knocked down from down by the donut shop, but they cleared those trees off. This was actually covered, all this was covered, and then the neighborhood and everybody kind of worked together and cleared it off so we could all have one way in, one way out kind of thing. So everybody came together and helped.
Most of the residents have gotten in touch with insurance, but they know it's going to take some time.
It's definitely a process, so I'm sure it's going to take a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, who knows. With contractors and stuff, it could get really busy with this kind of stuff happening.
Slow, but it's working.
The mayor of Duquesne says the damage must reach a certain amount before the town can declare for disaster relief. For now, citizens are left up to their own devices to clean up the aftermath. Dow, back to you.
Quite a mess. Amber, thanks so much. Just weeks after Carthage saw damage from destructive winds, residents there are also left picking up from last night's storms. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more.
Many Carthage residents have been left to clean up after last night's storms. Some homes, like the one behind me, had full trees fall on them, being completely uprooted. Trees all across the city have come down and had to be cleared out of the roadways. The Carthage Water and Electric Plant say their system experienced extensive outages and damages from the storm. Numerous power lines went down across the city as well.
Poles down everywhere, lines down everywhere from trees falling on them, trees on homes, causing damage on homes. So it was pretty severe. Crews were out immediately around 11:45, and right after the threat was clear, and worked all night, and they're still out today.
There were no reported injuries from last night's storms in Carthage. Tonight on KOAM News, we'll have more on how residents were impacted by the storms. In Carthage, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, before this storm system hit our area, it leveled the town of Barnsdall, Oklahoma. The town's mayor says at least one person is dead. At least 8 others are injured there. 30 to 40 homes were damaged and about 24 people were left without shelter. Down power lines, a gas leak, and debris are making roads dangerous. Last night's tornado was the second Barnsdall has seen in just over a month. Now let's check in with Lindsay for our first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures today, we are a lot warmer, and that's going to continue until early tomorrow morning. We have a cold front moving through, so these temperatures will drop for the next couple of days, but we saw temperatures in the lower 80s, some of us still sticking around in the 70s though. Now, after the storms, we have a lot of storm reports. We had a few tornadoes, one in Joplin, Carthage, not to mention the tornado that went through Bartlesville from Barndale. And we also have a few flood warnings as well. Now, tonight we're clear. We don't see anything in the area until early tomorrow morning, and it's associated with the same pressure system, low pressure system that brought those storms yesterday. That dry line moved through our area. So tomorrow morning, we start to see a cold front push through. Now, as of right now, it's starting to develop after it moves out of our area, but we could still see some severe threats, and we'll talk about them in just a bit.
See you soon. The Joplin School District today issued a news release explaining the actions the district took last night to open safe rooms. The district says safe rooms around the district opened automatically at 11:16 p.m. in response to a tornado warning in the county. However, the safe room for Joplin High School did not open at that time, apparently because of a malfunction. A safe room supervisor manually unlocked that door at 11:22 p.m. You can find the district's entire news release, including the current policy, at KOAMnewsnow.com. If you're ever on the go and you want to still be able to catch our newscasts live, just download the KOAM Plus app. It's available free of charge on the Apple App Store, the App Store of your choice, really. You can get weather information there live anytime. Just search for KOAM Plus. Some of our local softball teams have a championship in their sights. John's going to have details on which teams could be closing in on a state title. Plus, the Thunder look to resume their playoff push. Those stories later in sports.
Well, we finally have a break from the storms, and it is short-lived as we do see those chances returning tomorrow. But taking a look outside at Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, shot of downtown Joplin. Really nice day out there. We got about up to low 80s for our temperatures, mostly across regions. Some of us still staying in the upper 70s, but we were pretty warm today, and we have a lot of storm reports from the storms yesterday. Now, that was a dry line that passed through our area, and it continued to strengthen right about the time that it started to move into our area. So that main threat was near Wichita, so those storms really started to fire up near Wichita, but as they moved into our area, they continued to strengthen, and that's why we got so many severe thunderstorm warnings, all of the wind damage, tornadoes in our area, not to mention the tornado that went through Barnesdale. They saw almost, I believe, National Weather Service is getting close to surveying it or finish the survey for an EF4 tornado. Now, we saw a couple of our own as well. Out in Joplin, National Weather Service has finished their survey for an EF1 tornado. They saw trees uprooted, power line damage, shingles lost on home, and additional roof damages out in Joplin and in Carthage, another EF1 tornado. So these were happening about the same time. And the same thing here, uprooted trees, power lines, and several roofs were damaged out in Carthage as well. So we saw a couple of EF1 tornadoes in our area. As of right now, Wichita and Tulsa still working on their surveys. Now, we're clear for the night. We may see a few clouds, but other than that, it's going to be really nice. But we do have another threat for severe weather tomorrow. As you can see, we've got a level 3 out of 5 risk. If you are southeast and east of Joplin, you're in that level 3 out of 5 risk, elevated risk. And then if you are in Nevada, Pittsburgh, Joplin, Miami, Grove, those central counties from north to south, you're in a slight risk. So that is a level 2 out of 5 risk. And then everywhere just west of Pittsburgh, you guys are going to be in a low risk or no risk at all. So we do have those storms moving in. Could be as early as 5 a.m., but likely not starting until after sunrise, so 7 a.m., but they'll continue. We've got a couple of rounds, and they'll continue well into the afternoon. Our main threat is going to be hail, large hail and strong winds, but we can't rule out a tornado as well. So let's take a look. We have that wind shift. This is about 4:30, 5 a.m. That's where that cold front line is, and then the storms start to develop after that. Needs a little bit more instability to be built. So when the sun starts to rise, that's when instability starts to build up. So about 7 a.m., that's when those storms start to kick off, but they're going to strengthen as they move out of our area. So we are still seeing a threat, but that threat is not as severe as what we saw yesterday. And they're very unorganized. We've got more scattered thunderstorms in the morning, and then they'll move out of our area by afternoon. So we do, like I said, have that severe risk, but not as big of a threat as what we saw yesterday. Then after that, temperatures drop a little bit for the next couple of days, but we do have that stretch of sunny skies.
We'll certainly look forward to that stretch of sunny skies leading into Mother's Day.
It'll definitely be a nice change of pace.
You bet. Thanks, Lindsay. Still ahead, the Oklahoma City Thunder have a home playoff game tonight after 8 days of rest, and it's district championship night for Missouri High School softball. John Dales has a preview of the night's matchups up next in sports. Authorities make an arrest concerning a gunfire incident in Parsons, Kansas this morning. Parsons Police Department responded to that call in the 3100 block of Crawford Avenue. According to the report, the incident occurred after an altercation between a Parsons resident and a Pittsburgh man. Pittsburgh man, they say, ran away following the gunshot. Parsons police say they found him in Pittsburgh with the help of Pittsburgh PD. He was arrested by Parsons officers. Formal charges are pending. A little bit later, Royals and Cardinals in action tonight. John's going to have details on the big league matchup coming up in sports.
And we're tracking some more storms moving in early tomorrow morning that we'll talk about right after the break.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. It's district championship night for high school softball in Southwest Missouri. Now, things are a little bit different here in the spring season than back in the fall, since there are fewer district champions across the state, and for 3 of our local teams, a win tonight brings them just 3 wins away from a state title. Starting with Class 1 District 6, the top seed in the tournament, Liberal, is at home this evening. The Lady Bulldogs match up with 3 seed Lockwood in the district title game. Winner moves on to state, the state quarterfinals next Tuesday. I'll bring you the highlights later tonight at 9 and 10. In Class 2 District 6, Mount Vernon knows a thing or two about winning a state title. Lady Mountaineers are defending state champions. They have a tough test tonight in the district title game against Diamond. The Lady Wildcats are the #1 seed in the tournament. Their only loss on the season came on the road at Frontenac. This is the 3rd meeting of the season between the Lady Mountaineers and Lady Wildcats. We'll bring you the highlights and post-game reaction later this evening. The Thunder have gotten a lot of time off since completing a first-round sweep of the Pelicans. The final game of that series 8 days ago. This evening, they're back at Paycom Center for the beginning of the Western Conference semifinals against the Mavericks. OKC back at home tonight against Dallas. Each team in this series has a young MVP finalist. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Thunder and Luka Doncic for the Mavericks. These two teams met 4 times during the regular season, each side winning twice and each team winning once on the other's home floor. The Thunder got so much rest because of their sweep of the Pelicans. That series wrapped up much quicker than the Mavericks' 6-game series against the Clippers. Matchup to watch out for tonight, like I mentioned, Luka Doncic against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, both league MVP candidates. Doncic leading the NBA in scoring in the regular season, SGA just 2 spots behind him. Tip-off in OKC is just about 2 hours away. I'll keep you updated on the score throughout the night. And in Major League Baseball, the Royals at home again against the Brewers, the 2nd time in as many nights that they're playing. Yesterday, KC won 3-2 thanks to a 7th-inning rally with a 2 RBI single off the bat of Michael Garcia. First pitch tonight, just about 15 minutes away at Kauffman Stadium. Royals are within 3 games of first place in their division. The Cardinals not so much. They're in last place in the NL Central and are riding a 3-game losing streak. Redbirds try to turn things around tonight in the 2nd game of a home series against the Mets. First pitch from Busch Stadium is at 6:45. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. We're going to hear from some Carthage residents cleaning up after last night's storms. Plus, some Southwest Missourians react to the Boy Scouts changing their name for the first time in the 114-year history of that organization. And a group of doctors is out with new guidelines to help parents limit the screen time their kids are getting. Those stories, a lot more, it's coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The weather at the moment is nice.
It is pretty nice. We got up to the lower 80s today for most of the area. We do have a cold front moving through tomorrow. Winds start to shift as early as 5 a.m., but those storms don't really start to kick off until closer to 7 a.m., but they will strengthen as they leave our area. We do still have a threat for severe weather. Main threat would be large hail and damaging winds, but the main threat is mostly going to be south of us.
I know you and Doug and the rest of the weather team will keep us posted as necessary,
definitely.
as always. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.